Hello, I'm Murray Walker, and this is my autobiography, unless I'm very much mistaken. Like everyone, I left my mother's womb without a very clear idea of what I wanted to do with my life. Yet here I am, nearly 80 years on, starting to write about it. Why? Well, all sorts of things motivate me, one of which is gratitude. I've been both lucky and privileged, having had a fabulous life full of richness. Basically because I like people, and there are usually plenty of them around whose company and friendship I can share. He's obsessed. If it hasn't got an engine, he's not interested, says my long-suffering wife Elizabeth. Now, this is not entirely true, but I do confess that the groaning bookshelves in my study don't have too many volumes of poetry. Talking of Elizabeth, you're not going to hear too much about her in this book. It's not that I don't love her dearly or respect and admire her, because I do, by the bucketful. It's just that Elizabeth's attitude is, he's public, I'm private. She's a tower of strength and has an infinitely better brain than me, but whereas I love the limelight, her idea of purgatory is to appear in public. She wouldn't welcome me banging on about her qualities here either, so I'm not going to do so. But I wouldn't have been able to do what I have done without her. I have to confess that I'm a workaholic. I'm absolutely useless at relaxing. I get irritated and restless. Throughout my life, I've had to be doing something, whether it's writing, researching my next race, going to it, talking about it, or travelling home eagerly to await the next one. I often wonder whether I would have been so passionately interested in motorsport had I not been brought up with it, or whether I would ever have picked up a microphone had my father not been as brilliant and gifted a commentator. It's impossible to tell, but I can't think of anyone I'd more aspire to be like than my father. After a long and distinguished motorcycle racing career, he became editor of the failing magazine Motorcycling. He turned it round by sheer ability, hard work and personality, and in 1935 the BBC asked him to do their radio commentaries for motorcycle events. He took to it like a duck to water. He made you feel as though you were there, with an infectious enthusiasm overlaid by total knowledge of his subject, and he was the BBC's top man on the sport for over 31 years. I was reasonably good at trials riding on my 500T Norton. I won a gold medal in the 1949 International Six Days Trial, but I decided that I was far more likely to get somewhere in business than by trying to set the world's racetracks alight. However, I was delighted when I got my first chance at broadcasting, albeit on a public address system. The Midlands Automobile Club asked me if I'd like to do the commentary on a combined car and bike meeting at their Shelsley-Walsh hill climb in Worcestershire. My father had been due to commentate for the BBC, but had to drop out at the last moment. The club asked him to recommend someone to take his place. "Why not try the boy?" he said. "I think he'll be all right. Even if he isn't, it won't be a disaster because he'll only be talking to the spectators, and they'll be able to see what's going on anyway." I suppose it was nepotism, but I certainly wasn't going to say no. And never mind the spectators, as far as I was concerned, I was talking to one man at Shelsley, Jim Pestridge, the BBC producer. There was no way he was going to miss me, for my voice was blasting out of a battery of loudspeakers right by his side. Now, the way you do a PA commentary and the way you do a radio commentary are quite different. With the former, there's no need to talk non-stop, as your role is more to give information and announcements than to commentate on the action, which the punters can see for themselves. The hell with that, I thought. For Jim's ears, I submitted the poor devils on the hill to a non-stop barrage of facts, figures, hysteria and opinion. Not much different there, then. And it worked. The next week, Geoffrey Peck, one of the BBC's senior sports producers, invited me to an audition to commentate at a Goodwood car meeting, and I got the job.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?